Hey, welcome back, my amazing student. This is the Python mentor here helping you master Python step by step. All right, so on today's lecture, we're following up from the last lectures in this course here. This is a main complete course on mastering tuples. We're gonna see what we can do with tuples here. In this case, we're going to be using loops. Now, let's go ahead and do a print statement here real quick and loop through all this data, right, of tuple. So we can see that we have a list of tuples here. Like I mentioned before, in these data structures, most of them take any data type, right? They all take different data types. You can put whatever in strings, numbers, tuples, dictionary. You can put whatever you want inside list most of the time. List is the one that takes most different data types, but they all take all kinds of data types. All right, so we have a list of tuples here. And what I'm gonna do first is I'm going to print some type of space, right? Because I'm gonna need that in a minute. So we could say here, let me put that contact list, yeah. And I'm improvising here. So I'm gonna loop and get this first one, name, and then I'm gonna get the email, right? In a for loop, just like we do with other data structure here, okay? So we can say in contacts, just like that. Right, and we can just print this and we can use that string or whatever we want. It doesn't really matter. Name, and we can say email, just like that. Okay, and we can have this run and you can see it like this, right? So we can loop through it normally like we do with any other, most of the data types that we have. I have created courses on them, by the way, right? So let's go ahead and take the index out on one loop. So let's do a for loop here, and let's just get the index out of this tuples here, of this data. So I grab this, and I'll say, I'll put this here in parentheses, and we can use enumerate here to get the index out, right? So we'll give it what, data structure, what data I want the index from, right? And we wanted to say in enumerate function here, we want to specify the start place where it needs to start. And we say, hey, start at number 1, right? From the first item. Well, start the index in number 1. Now don't start at 0, start at number 1. So right now we could say F here and say the F string and get the index. And the name, as a matter of fact, let's just put this guy here, just like that. Boom, all right? So now, boom, and you can see that we have the index, 1, 2, and 3, right? So if you leave it by itself and you don't pass anything there, and you execute this, you can see that it starts at 0, okay? This is just a parameter here to start the loop at 1, really useful. All right, what else can we do? Let me see. All right, let's do unpacking in nested loops. So let's do one here. Let's do a list, and let's create a tuple here of, let's say, Maria likes shoes. So let's create that, and let's put another list. Let's put a list inside this tuple, and let's say she'll have different shoes, right? Let's see. What else? Let's also create another one here. And let's also say that Maria likes bags. And these bags have different prices or whatever. Doesn't really matter. We're just putting data here just to show you an example. All right. Now let's go ahead and loop through all this and do the unpacking, right? So let's do for product. Then we have a comma here, and then prices in sales. Simple as that, right? So now that you need one loop first to loop through the first items, right? And then what we need is we grab another loop here, and we go through prices, all right? Because we're taking out prices here, but prices also has data inside, right? And now you could do print with F string, and we can say product. Just like that. And here we'll grab the price. Okay, simple as that. So now let's go ahead and print this out, and you can see now the shoes, $50, $75, $100, and the bags are $30, $45, $60, right? You see how we can do this tuple unpacking in nested loops, all right? If you didn't understand, let me explain it to you in slow motion. No, I'm just joking. In a more simpler approach here. So we are looping through the first tuple here in this one here, right? Well, as a matter of fact, we're looping through this whole thing first, right? The whole thing first because it's a list. And then once we get into that, right, we take the prices out and the product, okay? So we take the product, which would be shoes. That would be the product, shoes and bags. And then the prices would be this list here. And that's what we do here. Now we can loop through the products as well here if we wanted to in another loop, right? But we don't want that. We don't want the key. We want these values here. So what we do is we grab the prices, all right? Because we can see that we have a list here. That's a list. That's why we say prices here. All right, and we loop through those prices and we show it for that specific product. Okay, every time we loop around, we say, hey, shoes, then loop around all the lists inside that shoes tuple and give me all the prices for the shoes. Then go ahead and do the same thing for bags and give me all the prices. Simple as that. Okay, anyway, guys, I don't want to confuse you too much. We're going to keep going. And we're going to keep getting, this is going to keep getting a little heavier, should I say a little bit more complicated as time goes on. Okay, simple as that. As more lectures, as I put more lectures into this list, into this series, the more advanced it's going to get. All right, I'll see you guys on the next one.